second.
That's how we started off. Bear witness to the greatest. Can't beat us, join us, keep heat us, on us with red lasers. We taking it to Philly right here. That's how we bringing in episode 3, Off the Rip podcast. Episode 3. The hustle. Can't stop it, can't knock it. Half the profit get flown out Vegas. Shout out to Mac, man, the best rapper ever from Philly. It's not debatable to me.
Oh, man.
I know you about to lose your mind. That's how I feel.
Like
the program, learn you from the snow, man. Like Pillsbury, I get the dough, man. I keep my word and I'm true to my peeps. Cuban link.
Let's see where you going with this.
Off like baby food. Around the world, pay me dues. Oh, we got to calm it down right there. But that's how we feeling this episode, man. We coming in. Beanie Siegel, Jay-Z. Once again, it's on. Classic record right there. And in my opinion, you know, I also argue with people a lot about this. I actually think Mac might have got Hov on that record, bro.
I'm on the show before.
But when you say that to like Hov fans, they get offended by that, which is crazy to me. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, you saying it yourself. You saying like your Hov fans.
I'm just saying, like, I'm like nobody could have, especially at that time, kind of out rap Hov on a record. I don't know. For me, maybe because we from Philly, we just felt that pain and hunger more in Mac actual lyrics than Hov. Like, you know, Hov was like the slick talker. Hov was saying some stuff. Say like you started in the back, then you wheezing in the back. I give a left leeway, put out the reason by the Mac to Philadelphia freeway, and I'm back. He definitely was spitting. But I don't know. I just think Mac lyrics just resonate a little bit more on that record, bro.
I wouldn't go against that. I wouldn't go against you saying that for that song. I mean, the better is Jay. Definitely. There's times where Mac is very much.
You know, in our opinion, you know, and I'm gonna speak for myself. I can't speak for Drew. I think definitely Mac got him on that. But let's just jump into our topics today. So today we're going to be talking about the New York Yankees and the Godfather. And today's segment is comparing these two on one franchise and one sports organization, and the theme is a perfect just the art of perfection and legacy, right? So our first talking point is legacy and dominance. The Yankees have built an empire in baseball, winning over 27 world champions, the most in MLB history. Similar to the Godfather, is like a cinematic juggernaut, right? The Godfather, if you're a movie fanatic and film buff and understand the nuances of cinema, the Godfather automatically have to be in your top 5. If the first Godfather movie is not your top 5, I don't know if I could talk film with you. Both set a standard in their respective fields, shaping the landscape to those, whether sports teams or other film franchises that follow behind them. So when you think of the Yankees and the Godfather, what comes to mind when you think of legacy and dominance with both of these products?
What comes to my mind is that the film and the team, they reigned for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Or let me just say in a decade. I don't recall, like, you know, going to the movies to watch Godfather. I watched the first Godfather with my dad.
Let me ask you a question. You wasn't born when the first Godfather came out.
No, but I'm saying I watched it with my father.
Got it. When it was like on VHS and all that. Got you. Okay.
So I
watched. It came out, if I'm not mistaken, like 70, 71, 72 around that time. Yeah.
So me and my father watched the movie. So
okay.
And my father's a baseball fan, so I know he was always rooting. Not always, but you know, he's a baseball fan, so he liked, you know, baseball players, especially like African American baseball players, or your baseball players that came from Puerto Rico, or different parts of, you know, Central America, stuff like that. So he was always rooting for them. And like I said, not the biggest baseball fan, but I played a little bit of T-ball and baseball as a kid. So I do know that baseball is a pastime, just like Godfather is that trilogy, you know what I'm saying, is a pastime for most people that's in the film. Like it's something you should study by. If you play baseball, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the greats that played baseball played with the Yankees organization. And then you have the cast from The Godfather. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
that's the
saying?
star power and the iconic figures. Like, let's talk about how, like, when we talking star power, iconic figures, how many careers were jump started from The Godfather, starting with arguably one of the greatest actors ever, Al Pacino.
Right. Correct. Well, with somebody that saw him with the director, you
Francis
know,
Coppola.
Coppola, he must have, he saw something in him to give him that role because, like I said, he was
You know, the
young.
studio didn't want Al Pacino either, right?
On
They
it.
were they were about to pull it, so it was a lot of confrontation that Francis Coppola was having with the studio. They did not think Al Pacino could carry the film. Only reason they really did it because Francis Coppola was so adamant that Al Pacino is the guy. He is Michael. That's just why Vision playing Michael. The studio was so comfortable with Marlon. We know Marlon Brando was a bigger star at that
Absolutely.
time in the 70s. So
Yeah.
that's what really got him the budget to be able to do the film, got him in that position to do the film. And but yeah, the studio was not on board at first to for Al Pacino to play Michael in The Godfather.
Well, there you have it. You have a backstory right there in itself. So that
Mm-hmm.
being said, I mean, the Yankees took on other good, great teams during the time they was winning, and I'm quite sure
Mm-hmm.
from people that was actually there to see it and to know it, to realize probably with the slack they got from taking Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson was a very important person to that whole that dynasty that they had in the '70s and all that stuff. Who he was
Mm-hmm.
and what did he
But
do?
even before Reggie Jackson, we gotta talk about Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth built that, like
Yeah, but I'm
just the
using it.
culture.
But listen, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, the Godfather doesn't go back as the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm saying is the Yankees took a chance on Reggie Jackson. You think about that for a
Similar to
second.
how they took a chance on Michael,
Right. I'm
Al
not, I'm
Pacino.
not,
Got you.
yeah, I
Okay.
don't, goes back with DiMaggio and all them. That
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me. They did what they did. That was different. That was a time when black players couldn't play in the league.
Yeah, because
So,
we had the Negro lead at that
right.
time, right?
But
If I'm not
so,
mistaken.
so everything he did. But to bring it up to speed, the Yankees, the '70s, Godfather, the '70s. That's the decade where we gonna kind of pick up at. And like you telling me about something about Al Pacino that I didn't know, like I'm telling you something about Reggie Jackson, you might have known you
Mm-hmm.
didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the director, whoever, the organization taking a chance. I don't know what they drafted Reggie Jackson. They got him through the free agency. I don't know that part. But what I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
is he became, legendary, you know what I'm saying, with the Yankees and with baseball. It's the same thing like Al Pacino did with The Godfather and also inside of the film business.
Yeah, yeah, and that's lead us to our next point: controversy, power struggle, and drama. The Yankees was never no stranger to internal drama. George Steinbrenner's feuds with players and managers, A-Rod's steroid scandal, and then the intense rivalry they had with the Boston Red Sox. And it's similar to The Godfather, right? The Godfather, it mirrors with his own power struggle, like you said, with Michael Corleone's ruthless rise in the film, betrayals within the family, and the never-ending war of control. So let's speak about just the adversity that whether these players and these characters in The Godfather had to go through ultimately to reach their goal.
Um, I must say it. In order for the Yankees to continue to thrive and win like that, there had to be a Marlon Brando, a Godfather in there. I don't know who that person was,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, the organization, but there had to be for them to continue to have that type of success when you're going against your competition. Same thing like Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you understand first, like everything started with the Godfather. Like everything started from the
Mm-hmm.
opening scene to the fact that he apologized for his kids speaking out of turn.
Mm-hmm.
In his words, I'm paraphrasing, but he spoiled his kids. Then he also looked
Mm-hmm.
to Sonny and told him never let him know what your enemy's thinking. You know what I'm saying? There was
Mm-hmm.
things like that that speaks to like that, what they say now, emotional intelligence. And I felt
Mm-hmm.
like watching that movie as a kid, I didn't understand it, but I can appreciate it going back to it now, looking at it and just looking over different scenes and watching the movie straight through to understand like they really pride themselves on working on like handling their emotions throughout the movie. You
Mm-hmm.
had different parts
Mm-hmm.
in the movie where you dealt with different issues when it comes to internal things when it comes to, dealing with the women, that being their sisters, their wives, their daughters, things like that. Because most of the time the men had the most roles, you know what I mean, the most lines.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing like the Yankees, the Yankees had to deal with internal things even before they went externally to play against other teams. They had to deal with things. And then again, you roll out the competition, baseballs, the Red Sox, Dodgers, whoever else they was playing against. The movie, it's the other families, it's the Vatican Church, it's the politicians, it's all these different things, you know what I'm saying, that they dealt with within within that family dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, and that definitely makes sense. And this brings us to our last point, the cultural influence and how both of the Yankees was like a timeless brand that's like considered the golden standard for what a successful sports franchise look like, and for Godfather is like the golden standard for what a movie franchise look like. And you know, the Yankees are a global brand in itself. The same thing with the Godfather. Like I said, it's more than just a movie. Is a cultural touchstone. It's a blueprint to how we live our life, right? Like if we want to achieve success, we must we must have morality, we must have discipline, we must have focus. And these are some of the thematic things that Vito Corleone was trying to teach his sons and his kids, specifically Sonny, and then that later led down to Michael. Just kind of speak about that, just like that sense of morality, and that sense of focus and discipline in order to have success in any field that you're in.
Starts with family.
Mm.
You got to bring always back to family, and that's what the Godfather was always about, family.
Mm-hmm.
And even I'm not Yankees baseball, not my
It is
strong
family
suit,
though,
but
because
it's
like when you with your
it's
teammates,
yeah,
like the best teams have a real bond,
yeah,
and the relationship has to extend beyond the field. It
right,
has to.
right, and it come in like, you play sports at a high level. I play sports. Um, it starts like the locker room, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Things that the conversation take place. Um, I don't really know, like, well, movies don't have an off season, but like I said, there's the guidance of people that come before you. And
Mm-hmm.
also, people just really appreciating, you know, who you are and what you bring to the equation. So let me give you an example. I don't know the name of the character. The guy, heavyset guy. And remember, Michael had to go out and sit down with the dirty police captain and the other boss
Mm-hmm.
of the family. And he was, talking to him in the basement, showing him how to work the revolver. And he kind of told Michael, hey, listen, these things come around every couple 5 years. They got to clean, basically, like, we got to kind of do this to we get forward, like the families. So don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about it. Like they happen every 5, 10 years, but we'll get through it. We've been through it before. Quite sure the same thing the Yankees applied. Like, look, Red Sox right there, this team right there. But look,
The Dodgers,
the
all these other
Dodgers, you know
great
what I'm saying?
teams,
So it's
the
like,
Chicago Cubs,
right.
like
So, you know what I'm saying?
Braves,
Again,
Phillies.
you know what I'm saying? Not so much the person that was talking to him was a main character, but he was still a character. He fitted the mold of what the Godfather encompassed. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you speak to that to baseball. Everybody wasn't everybody wasn't A-Rod. Everybody wasn't Reggie Jackson. Everybody wasn't these dominant people, these guys that's first ballot Hall of Famers. But they had
Mm-hmm.
other people that was just as important, you know what I'm saying, that probably helped coach them players, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
into having
Mm-hmm.
success, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of example I would use. Like I said, I mean, again, you have to go watch a lot of Yankees baseball and watch 1, 2, and 3 in that order. Don't go, you know what I'm saying? Don't mix it up, but really watch it 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, yeah, and just to kind of piggyback what you're saying, like it do start with family. I was fortunate enough to play high school basketball, college, and the best teams I've been a part of, it was a real brotherhood, and that brotherhood transitioned to set too as well. Like when you on set and you working with people that appreciate you, you're going to go the extra mile. You're not
Yes.
going to bullshit with your lines. You're not going to bullshit with other crew members. And I thought they did a good job on The Godfather of like, you could tell that there was a real connection that Michael had with like, Marlon Brando and some of the other characters. Robert De Niro was on there in Godfather too. So like it was a real bond, but it started at the head. So for the Yankees, it started with the president and GM, and then it trickled down to the coaches and players. And then in production, it starts with the producer and the director. You know, the line producer and the director. When the crew and the talent see they in sync, they're gonna follow line and get in protocol. So I thought both of this movie franchise and this sports organization did a good job of demonstrating infrastructure, which lead to success if you have a strong infrastructure. So moving on to our next topic, the Go Getters segment. Today, man, we got two silent assassins. Scrap, man. Who are two silent assassins that we're gonna be talking about in our Go Getter segment?
We'll be talking about the one and only Kawhi Leonard and Barry Jenkins, film director. Both people, you know what I'm saying, well acclimated into what they do. Also, people that has won high, high awards in what they
Mm-hmm.
do. You know what I mean? What I
Mm-hmm.
mean by that is
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi is an NBA MVP. You know what I mean?
Finals MVP.
Finals MVP. Let me
If I'm not mistaken, what he won 2 finals, one with the Spurs, and
and
then he
what
won
and
one with the
what and what
Raptors.
the Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Barry Jenkins. You know what I'm saying? Academy Award winner for Best Picture. Got
Mm-hmm. For
nominated by the
Moonlight.
Golden Globes, Oscar nod. You know what I'm saying? He has a major resume already, and he's not even done. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah. And then in saying that, man, I think these two individuals, sometimes a lot of people, whether you're in the entertainment industry or sports industry, whatever field, you could fall prey or fall victim of constantly proving or feeling like you got to prove who you are verbally or always boastering about your success. But the thing I love about these two guys, they let the work speak for itself. You know what I mean? Like Barry Jenkins isn't a flashy individual. You never see him over promoting himself. He's really just like he speak through the art, and that's a sign of a true artist, right? Same thing with Kawhi. Kawhi, he don't talk trash. He don't hang out with guys on the off season. He don't want to work out with you, but he
yes.
go out there and he will cook you on the court. You understand what I'm saying? They both soft spoken individuals, but they both ruthless in their fields. You know what I mean? And that's a sign of greatness that both of them have. So what do you think about like that silent assassin mentality that both of these individuals possess?
I'm gonna say like they doing it how they want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
For the lack of better words that come to my mind, I mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Until you told me about Barry Jenkins, I never knew he was the director of those films. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? And I've had the chance to watch 2 of those films. So I didn't even realize that until you told me that. And I'm like, wow. And then like I said, his resume, speaking to, you know what I mean, just coming out where we got Mufasa the Lion King, Tall Enough, Bill Street, you know what I'm saying? Charm City. You know, I'm just looking at some movies that he did. All like I said, I haven't seen all of them, but I take it that these movies were something that he wanted to do his way.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi Leonard goes, I mean, he kind of did things, doing things his way in his career.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Literally doing things his way, but also with some good teaching. I think he come under Pop. So and he
Yeah,
come under
Greg
his,
Popovich is
and
a great
then he come up
coach.
under his college
Tim
coach.
Duncan and
No,
Tony
go back.
Parker too.
No, Steve, it was the coach
Steve
over there,
Fisher from
Steve
Michigan
Fisher, right? You
that
know what I'm
coach
saying?
the Fab
Flat
Five.
Five. And then
Mm-hmm.
whoever coached him in high school, because he played ball
Yeah.
with Tony Snell. So like,
Mm-hmm.
he had teaching. I'm quite sure Barry Jenkins
Barry Jenkins.
had some teaching there along the way from could have been from high school, but definitely when he got to college because he went to Florida State
Mm-hmm.
film school and he met some people there. So yeah, they kind of like I said, they're doing it their way in their
Mm-hmm.
career where it's very much you could be overshadowed by the people that's getting the promotion, more the endorsements, people that's more braggadocious and just always looking for in basketball they're looking for the championship. They always looking for, they search for, they trade, they ask for trades. And then in the movie stuff, where do you go when mostly everybody's watching film on their phone and not in the movie theater? Do you still try to
Mm-hmm.
create a film that goes to the
Mm-hmm.
movie theater? Or do you settle for like Netflix and the streaming platforms? Or do you go an independent route? Like there's so many different
Mm-hmm.
ways. But I think as long as you stay true to it, you'll be fine. You'll be fine because people
Mm-hmm.
appreciate the art.
Mm-hmm. And saying that, our next point, these two individuals are both selective and intentional with their approach. They both are the epitome of prioritizing quality over quantity, right? Barry Jenkins just don't do any film, right? Like you see have a lot of filmmakers and directors just want to put out 10 films a year without actually dissecting the story, dissecting plot, like taking time to do rewrites, right? You can tell when you see a rush film. You could tell when you see a film like, yo, they
Give me an
just wrote
example of a
this and
rush
probably,
film, though. Give me
yeah. You said what?
give me an example of a rush film. And I don't when you say that.
Like a film that's just too predictable. If you watch a movie that's super predictable, that you could predict everything that happens next, it's no plot twist, it's no ambiguity in the storyline,
Okay.
that's a rush film.
Okay.
A lot of times back in the day, like when you watch movies from the 80s, 90s, even the 70s, they would do 30 to 40 different drafts of a screenplay before they actually go into production. Nowadays, I think a lot of filmmakers are doing less than 3 drafts and they just want to put something out. And I don't think that's the right approach. And I think Barry Jenkins understands that, like, hey, I'm all about quality over quantity. Yeah, I might not have 50 movies, but I'm going to give you 15 or 20 movies in my career that's done at a really, really high level, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And he kind of has that mindset of like, I have artistic integrity. I want to put out things of value, things that actually move the needle forward within culture in the world. And I respect that about him. And the same thing with Kawhi, like he doesn't chase stats. You know what I mean? He's not out there shot hunting. He plays the right way, right? Only thing that may be a critique about him that the load management, but I think he really suffers from some serious knee injuries. So and I think that's a kind of a misconception about him that, hey, he just want to sit out. No, he actually have knee problems. So speak about the benefit of like having a mentality of quality over quantity in today's world where everybody just they so in a rush to get stuff out just to get it out instead of doing something the right way.
I'm gonna flip the script a little bit here. I'm gonna speak to just some things that people go through, and some people go through more than others at a young age. Speaking to Barry Jenkins, when I read up on it, when I read up about him, when I read up about him, he lost his father, or who he thought could have been his father at a young age, and then his mom has suffered from a drug addiction. So
Mm-hmm.
that is already in itself something that gives you a different perspective on like Kawhi Leonard. Again, I don't know how he grew up, but it wasn't probably the easiest.
Well, he lost his father too. His father got
Lord,
killed.
father got
Do you
killed.
know the story how his father got killed at his car wash in Compton right before his state championship game? I think he was a junior, if I'm not mistaken. And that affected him a lot. They said that was a lot of people in his life or around him said that was like one of the turning points in his life.
To kind of bring that together is like, and then not to mention the situation with his sister in the last recent years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look at things different. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say you should cheat the film business or you should cheat basketball. It's like they looking at life entirely different. They not looking
Mm-hmm.
at it like, everything is happy go lucky. It's like, yeah, I have a talent, but I have things that I want to do and keep
Mm-hmm.
secret for me. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
when you find out some backstories about people, then you can really appreciate what they doing and how they doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be like you said, a rush job, or in my example, I'm using because what I always tell you, like these guys is just, these guys just doing it because they could do it just playing basketball, asking for trades. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying Kawhi Leonard got the resume of Kobe Bryant playing with one team, but I'm just saying, everybody want to play with, not everybody, but, want to play here, play there. So it gets really washed out. Like when you really look at like Kawhi Leonard, not only has done things where you could speak to say, damn, what I mean, this guy is not, if he's on his game, he's top five. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's top five. Now for Barry Jenkins, I don't know the list of directors, but from his
No,
resume,
Barry Jenkins is definitely one of the top tier
well, that's
directors
what I'm
in the
saying.
business
From
right
his
now.
resume,
Yeah, he's
because
1-on-1 for sure.
right, because most directors can't get
He just did Mufasa, bro.
right.
Mufasa is a
Well, not even
franchise
that.
movie.
Listen, not even
Yeah.
that. I'm just saying to even put out more than 5 films.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's hard in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Put out 5 films. You went the independent route, and you did stuff with
He started the
Netflix.
independent route, like
Right,
we talked about earlier. That
right.
movie,
So,
Medicine for Melancholy, was shot
right,
for only $15,000 and won a bunch of awards, and
got
that
you.
propelled him to get the budget for
Right.
Moonlight, which they shot Moonlight less than 30 days, and they only had Marsha Ali for like less than a week, 5 days.
And
They
he
got
got
him out of there in
yeah,
5 days.
and he got 2 Oscars.
Well, he got one Oscar. I think he's
Once.
nominated for two. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
And then
man,
the way he won the Oscar was kind of it was bad. The representation of it, like or the present not the representation, the presentation of it is like they actually gave it to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think it was,
I remember
and
that
then they
movie.
said, "Oh, we made a mistake. Moonlight won." So it's like they kind of took away from his moment in a sense,
Right.
but he didn't he didn't feel no type of way about it. He showed a
Right.
lot of class, integrity in that moment. Like, hey, thank you guys for acknowledging us, but they did take away from his moment when they gave it to somebody another film by
What's new?
accident.
What's new? What's new?
Our final target point for our go getter segment today is mastery of craft through precision. Jenkins is a master of cinematic precision. The way he used the lighting, moonlight, how he, I don't know if you pay attention in Moonlight, how he lit those characters, where that contrast in their facial features in the movie was pretty unique. Um, and he highlighted the different phases of the main character life, Koron's life. He shot compositions are filled with meaning, whether it's the slow motion shots he was using, the intimate character close ups of faces of the warm, and then when you go to someone like a dreamlike um style he used in Bill Street Could Talk, where it's like really like poetry between the two main characters in that film. The same thing with Kawhi. Kawhi game is simple, but sometimes simple is elite, right? It's footwork. He has one of the best mid range in the game. He's probably one of the best perimeter defenders in the game. So let's just really elaborate a little bit in our last point about like how do we master the craft through really precision.
Practice.
Mm-hmm.
Practice. Practice. Really just like really honing on your craft. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and what I
But
mean.
what does that look like though? So if
Well,
I'm a film director, practice is like you really gotta figure out what's your style as a filmmaker, right?
so
When you watch a Spike Lee movie, you know it's a Spike Lee movie. Watch a Quentin Tarantino movie, you know it's his. So you have to develop your distinct style, whether the way you light your characters, your shot selections, are you a story driven director? In the Kawhi case is like I'm not going to be like a KD, dribble 20 times and get to my go-to move. I'm doing all ball fakes, one dribble pull up, spin moves. I'm getting right to my point. So how do you learn how to just get straight to the point and find whether it's your game as an athlete or just your style as a creator?
keep it to yourself.
Mm,
Like you said, use the example earlier of Kawhi not really working out with guys, whatever. And that not to say he doesn't work out, but like not working out with a bunch of other players that he end up competing
mm-hmm,
with. And for Barry
mm-hmm,
Jenkins, it's keeping whatever he got, whatever he knows about and whatever is
mm-hmm,
coming to himself. Like you said, not a guy that really goes out here, a lot of promoting. Because again, I didn't know he did these films. So now
mm-hmm,
I'm more in tune to who he is now and to look for future projects. Same thing with Kawhi Leonard. Like
mm-hmm,
the job for him when he goes out there is always to, put out the best product that he could put out there on the court, which is what he
mm-hmm,
typically does, which is he plays both sides of the court. He defends. So like
mm-hmm,
if he's healthy, he's playing both sides of the court. And in
mm-hmm,
the case of Barry Jenkins, he's delivering films that's keeping you locked in from the beginning to the end and in the middle.
mm-hmm,
So like, I
mm-hmm,
mean, it's a tough analogy to do a little bit because I said we're compelling. We're not just doing film and sports, but we're actually talking about a director. We're talking about a basketball player. So in the case of, let's just use example, basketball player and and acting would be an actor. The director would possibly be the coach, for
Mm-hmm.
example. You know what I'm saying? We talking about people, if you put them and flip them around, they don't do the same. Like what
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi does on a team would be a little different. Well, not that it would be different, but Barry plays a different role, you know what I'm saying, if he was to come over in basketball.
True, but I
So
think artistry is artistry
that's true.
at the common denominator of this. That's why, we do these go-getter segment because we just honoring their artistry in their respective way, right? So yeah, like I said, these two people were our go-getters today. Um, we like to call this segment the Silent Assassins, Barry Jenkins, Kawhi Leonard. We appreciate your guys' greatness and your artistry, man. And just, Kawhi, keep doing your thing on the court. And Barry Jenkins, man, just keep giving us memorable films that we love. All right, man, we're going to our rapid fire segment today, man. So the rapid fire segment, we're going to be talking really just mainly about NBA All-Star Weekend, man. I'm going to give a quick recap, man. So I don't know if you've seen it, man. Starting with the skills competition, man. Skills competition was kind of a little janky what CP and Wemby did. So, the skills competition, you got to shoot jump shots. But CP and Wemby, they did everything, the passing and all that, and dribbling up the court, but they didn't shoot the jump shot, and they got disqualified. And that was the first time ever somebody got disqualified in the skills competition. Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley wound up winning the skills challenge, which was pretty cool. And then in the 3-point contest, Tyler Herro wins with 24 shots made in the first round. Honestly, I thought Dame Lillard was going to repeat again, but Tyler Herro, surprisingly defeated him. And then lastly, in the dunk contest, man, Mac McClung, man, he's different. I don't know if you've seen it, but he got some tricks, bro. I would have loved to see him do a dunk contest with like somebody like John Morant, Aaron Gordon, and like Zach LaVine. I would love to see them four in the dunk contest. But I think it's kind of like a smack in the face that the NBA players will let a G League guy, no disrespect to Mac McClung because he is a great player, but he is in a G League guy win a dunk contest 3 times in a row. And nobody from the league, none of our stars, or even just any of our role players step up. Like, you know what? This can't happen again, man. He can't win another dunk contest. So, in your mind, let's just stick with Saturday night with the All-Star Weekend. What needs to change with Saturday night to make the All-Star game better?
I don't know.
Mm,
I mean, we talked about this already. Like, and I had
yeah.
some talks with some people. I don't know. Like, it's really up to the players. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna always be up to the front office to figure out problems of, you know what I mean, how bad you want to compete, you know what I'm saying, in a all-star event for the fans. I mean, it's gonna be up to them. Like
You
it's
know
up
what
to
I
them.
think? I think they should get rid of the dunk contest since a lot of the players that's athletic is afraid to participate and really have a one-on-one challenge at the end of the night. So you keep the skills challenge, keep the 3-point shooting contest, and the one-on-one challenge, and the winner wins $2 million. Make it competitive. You know what I mean?
But what's not competitive already about the event? Why is
But the
money?
dunk contest is not competitive because nobody want to participate. We got, like I said, John Morant, Aaron Gordon. Well, Aaron Gordon did it before, but LeBron never did it. John Morant never did it. Anthony Edwards probably be good, a solid dunker. He never did it. So some of the best players in the league is not participating in it. So, but I think a one-on-one challenge, like you get Kyrie out there, Kevin Durant, some of the best, or like a DeMar DeRozan, some of the best one-on-one players in the league. I think that would be more interesting than the dunk contest while watching just Mac McClung just dominate everybody else's just head and shoulders. It's not for kind of like it's good. It's fun to see him dunk, but it's not really competitive at all with the other participants.
I mean, that's not the first time I heard the one-on-one thing. I don't care to see the one-on-one. I don't care.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate this dunk contest has come down to this. You know what I'm saying, somebody that's not actively playing in the NBA but still tied towards winning it. I said, I'm wrapped out. I mean, them guys are just who they are at this time. Like, I don't know if a new wave of kids when they come in, they'd be more excited, but like, I'm really wrapped out with them guys. It's really nothing you could, not too much you could say to people that's like, you know what I'm saying, not too much involved with the weekend. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
they more fanned out than the fans. Like they, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know what to say at this point. Like them guys,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like it let 'em, let them go in and retire, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. And then that leads us to our last point of the rapid fire, just All-Star Sunday, the actual game. The games were competitive, but the format wasn't doing it because, you had a lot of players sitting. They had a lot of time for intermissions, whether they were doing concerts, like, giving TNT staff, their commentary staff, like, their flowers because it's their last year hosting the All-Star game. I just don't like the idea of having the rookies, the rising stars, playing on Sunday because I think playing on Sunday is something you have to earn. Like, with them playing on Sunday, you take away from guys like Wemby and Evan Mobley. This their first All-Star game, but they got rookies that didn't earn the right to play on Sunday playing. So I totally didn't agree with that. But the games were a little more competitive. In my opinion, I think we just need to go back to East versus West and, really make the guys compete.
The,
All this 4 or 5 different teams pick up format is just not working, and it's just not fun to watch, to be honest.
the games was terrible. I don't care nothing about this shit. Hey, it's make it take it. It's like we playing in the pile. They was playing in
Yeah,
the pile. I never seen an NBA game where it went to a score. You had to get to a number to win. I never even this some
yeah,
shit seems like some shit in the 50s. Like, they
yeah.
playing the game to like this shit is terrible. Don't get rid of it. I wouldn't even say get rid of it. Just the guys don't want to compete. Last time you competed, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that
I
know
think
who
last competitive All-Star game I watched from Kobe last month
all right, then
when he
then
was
you
guarding Bron.
yeah, all right, so the viewers, and I want people to hear this. The last time it was competitive when who played?
Kobe,
Say it again.
like really competitive.
Say it
Kobe,
again. All
his
right.
last
So
All-Star
so
game.
that's so we're gonna leave it like that. So I don't even want to hear about everybody that came at them. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear from
Like, think
nobody.
about it. Bron just like set out the last like second, like we playing against the Rising. Nah, I'm not doing that. Like, I've been making the All-Star game for 19, 20 years. You want me to play against rookies on Sunday?
I don't
And
know,
this is the face of the league. So he
he
like,
might,
nah, this not. I'm not doing that. Only thing I disagree that he should have told them earlier, so somebody else could have took that spot that was deserving to be there. But I kind of understand the sentiment. Like, yo, it's dumb. I'm not playing against rookies. He not supposed to be playing on Sunday.
I- what are we talking about? Like they
Yeah.
like he want to play till he's 60. So who cares? Like fuck out of it.
Well, they
Shit.
gotta get it right, man. Next year All-Star game is in LA, which we will be at. We will be out here in LA, La La Land. So I'm really excited about that. Hopefully they can go back to the traditional format of East Coast versus West Coast to make it more competitive.
You,
All right, man. We're going to move on
you
to
can
our
see the
last talking
longest.
point.
It's
You
gonna be
said
the
what?
world. They're gonna do the world versus the league. They're gonna go
I'm
here.
I'm for that.
They
I'm
I
for that.
just
The
no,
world
it's
versus the
no,
league.
that's
That
what's
one might
going
be competitive.
that's what's gonna happen. So it's not even no
Yeah,
East versus
and
West.
let them include some EuroLeague players like Mike James in them too as well. That'd be dope. I like that idea. The
That's what's
world
going
versus the
I
league
mean, I don't see it.
because especially remember that we talked about the expansion of Paris and London, right? So
And
it might be that might be next year they try the world versus the league, which would be pretty cool. All right, man. So we moving on to our last topic of this episode, which is Flip of the Week, Captain America: Brave New World. Um, Captain America: Brave New World follows Sam Wilson as he embraces his role as the new Captain America. When President Thaddeus Ross is transformed into a Red Hawk due to a scheme by Samuel Stern, Wilson must confront this formidable threat with the help of likes like Joaquin Torres and Ruth Bat Sapero. He strives to prevent a global catastrophe and restore peace. So I did like this movie. This was one of the better Marvel movies. I thought Anthony Mackie did a good job of playing Sam Wilson, the Captain America. It is jam packed with action. Only critique I have of it, I wish there was just a little more backstory about Captain America, especially like Sam Wilson character a little bit. Sometimes in these Marvel movies, we don't get enough backstory. Like, who are they? Like, why they want to be superheroes, right? Like, why they doing what they're doing? Like, you just don't want to wake up and say, I'm going to be Captain America. Like, more backstory, like where he come from, you know what I mean? How he transformed the Captain America. If they would include that element of it, I thought the movie would have been a lot better. But it is a solid movie. I thought Anthony Mackie did a good job. The storyline was tight. It is filled with a lot of different cool action scenes, and it's one of the better Marvel movies. So, but definitely go check it out, man. Captain America: Brave New World, and let's support our brother Anthony Mackie, man. As you know, we need more people of color, Black people, in these lead roles, whether it's from Marvel and DC. So I'm definitely recommend you guys to go check it out.
Listen, I ain't see the movie, so I got mixed reviews on it.
You got mixed reviews. What's
Yeah.
the different mixed reviews you received from people you spoke with?
Just from a couple friends, they didn't really too much like the movie.
Yeah.
And they go see movies. They take their kids to go see movies. So there was a movie they took their kids to go see, and they said they didn't really like the movie. But I didn't see the movie. I'm gonna check it out. I do, appreciate that, to see somebody with a main character as the main character, like I said,
the protagonist. He's the protagonist of the story, yeah.
Right. So, I'm gonna give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, the Marvel movies, DC, they're hard to watch twice, depending if you're not really into the theme of things. But I'm definitely gonna give it a shot because I heard mixed reviews from it. So I gotta be my own judge and see the movie and see kind of what I take from it, what I like from it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there you have it, man. This is this episode of Off the Rip Podcast, episode 3. We appreciate everybody for listening and tuning in, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening through Apple, Spotify. And please, man, please like, subscribe, and share the video. We can't do it without your support. So we need all support that we could get, man. Thank you. Thank you guys again for tuning in.
See y'all next week.
Next week, we back at it, baby.